Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's about 20 past 3 here in the UK on Friday, the 18th of December. The American market has opened a little softer. The Dow still hanging on to that 30,000 level, and the VectorVest Composite in the green. The VectorVest Composite, a broad measure of the market, has been much stronger over the last few weeks than the more narrower measures of the Dow, only 30 stocks, and the S&P 500, clearly 500 stocks. So all of the measures of the trend on VectorVest are up, but we have to in fact, worry a little bit about the buy-sell ratio and the MTI, and the buy-sell ratio has now pushed itself above 6, and that is a exceptionally high, mega overbought figure, and it means that, as I've said numerous occasions, if there were any changes in the narrative, that we could see quite a strong pullback. I'll put up the VectorVest Composite, and there it is, folks, and that's the composite, an equally weighted index of all of the shares that we follow on the US markets. Down below, the market timing indicator, which is a proprietary VectorVest indicator. And as you can see, on a scale between 0 and 2, the MTI is up at about 1.6, which historically has always been a place that you need to stress about a little bit. As you can see, the price is rising and the MTI is falling, and that's saying that we need to be careful, and that divergence invariably precedes a turn, but I think that we're probably okay here into the end of the year. Let's see how it goes. I'm certainly holding my positions. The S&P, there we are, that's the S&P. The S&P, in fact, closed last night at 3722. In the overnight market, it went as high as 3731, I think, just a few minutes before the open, and it's now pulled back, probably kissing these old highs and kissing the big round number of 3700. So not the end of the world for the trend. All of the measures of the trend are up, and I remain quite positive. I'm holding quite a few positions, and nothing much has changed. Upwork is going great, up 3% today again. Apps is going great. Snap is going well. Pinterest is going well. Square's great. So I'm very, very happy with those. I added Adobe since the last time I spoke to you, and let's just have a look at it. I felt, folks, first of all, there's the February high left in the wake of the market a long way. So the share's showing very strong relative strength. The fundamentals on VectorVest couldn't be better. I should have put those up first. It's got an RV of 1.31, an RS of 1.44. So this is a share that is both growing earnings strongly, 19%. That's strongly, and safely, and that's a great place to be in this environment. So technically, I like the look of it. Put on earnings per share as well. Look at that for earnings per share growth. Okay, in a large company. Clearly, there's resistance here. It came back once and it's found support here, and now it's broken this pennant formation. Those of you that are technicians should see 5 waves in it: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Continuation patterns invariably have 5 waves. It's pulled back and it's kissed that level. So what we have, folks, and there's no sure thing, there's no certainties. Anybody that's been in markets for more than a day or two will know that there's no certainties. All we can really ask for is the general market rising? Has the stock that you're looking at got outstanding growth fundamentals? And this one's got growth fundamentals and safety of earnings fundamentals. And then can I get into the darn thing with a very small risk? And can I, in fact, engineer a large reward, asymmetrical risk to reward ratio? Well, I bought into the stock yesterday, somewhere about here, and my stop loss is under that low. You could certainly use the VectorVest stop loss. There's the VectorVest stop loss further away. I put my stop loss a little bit tighter. This is a leverage position for me, so I've got the stop loss actually in the system. So if I own the share outright, I normally watch the stop loss myself. If I own it on leverage, then I put the stop loss in the system. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. That's just what I do. And if we look at this, I like the way this kissed this trend line, and it was accumulated there. So with any luck, that share is going to blast off. If the market keeps going, it'll go. If the market doesn't go, it won't go. The general market is 70% of the exercise. So I'm greatly pleased with the rest of them. I haven't got Apple, I haven't got Amazon, but both Apple and Amazon have actually broken a 3-month continuation pattern. I think it's 3 months, and they both look quite strong. So reasonably pleased with my endeavors here, but very conscious that the market is in a mega overbought situation and that I need to be careful with these profits. Roku, for example, has just been outstanding, and that's Roku, and that was my entry point, and purely technically orientated trade just there, and that's at 240, and it's now gone to 350. So just don't think that that's normal, folks. This is a very special period. My stop loss I pulled up, and I probably need to pull it up again. At the minute it's under that low. From my best, it's under that low, somewhere like that. The vector V stop loss is quite a long way away. So let's across the pond into the UK, where unfortunately I've given back quite a bit of cash. Those of you that have been following this will know that I had a position in Avon Rubber way back since April, and I was doing my best to ride a big trend there, and clearly there was news, and that in fact has affected the share price markedly. So I got out of it. My stomach tells me that it was probably a good place to buy into it, but nevertheless stop losses are stop losses, and I had to get out. We'll look at the chart in a second. Again, we have a buy sell ratio in the heavens at 5.45, MTI getting up into a mega overbought situation at 1.54. All of the measures of the trend on Vector Vest are up, and you see that little black star winking at you. That little black star means that the momentum is also strongly up. So that's a really good set of numbers for the UK market. If we have a look at the Vector Vest timing chart of the UK, we can see that it's camped and doing its best to break above those February highs. We put on the confirm calls. That's the longest term measure of the trend, and apart from this little bit that lasted a day or two where very few shares, none of my shares were stopped out, the trend has been up since April the 27th based on this long-term measure of the trend. Going to take a day or two to get through these tops. As you can see, the general market significantly stronger than the FTSE 100, which has got nowhere near those February highs. So with any luck, the overall market is going to break up here. I have lots of positions, and I'm always very wary in this type of market where things have run exceptionally smoothly for such a long time that you can get a little cocky, and certainly that smack, although I didn't lose money, but that smack in Avon Rubber has brought me back down to the ground, as the market frequently does. Sylvania Platinum is going great, and it's a really good example of one of my springs that I teach in the swing trading course. And there we go. Look at this. Earnings per share is rising. I'll put the valuation on, the valuation right up there, and it pulled back to that high. Let's have a look at it in a 3-month chart. Went up, came back, kissed that top, went up, couldn't break that high, and then come back down here again. And I bought a few more of those. They're very hard to get, folks, but I bought a few more of them at 75, 76. We shall see as to whether that's off to the races or not. Plus 500 seems to be righting itself again. There was some talk in the spread betting industry of regulation on further regulation on leveraged accounts, and that caused it to move a little bit. Another spell of news has caused Flutter to come back this morning. It's still in profit for me, but one of its subsidiaries in the US has got a lawsuit on its hands. So that's the second bout of news. Those of you that have been markets and in life for long enough will know that there are weeks and months where you can do no wrong, and there are weeks and months where you can do no right. So that needs to be watched very carefully indeed. It's still okay, but it needs to be watched very carefully. The GB Group is a classic share, it really is. And I've bought into Pan African. We're going to have a look at the gold market in a second, and I bought a little bit of Bellway because I felt that would do well out of some form of Brexit deal. I looked at all the builders and I chose Bellway because the relative safety was 1.34. The rest of the fundamentals on VectorVest are not good. Ready holding Poly, and I particularly like CCC at the moment, folks, because if you have a look at CCC, it's left the February highs in its wake, huge trend up, and then it goes sideways into this continuation pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you're a technician, okay? And within the continuation pattern, forecast earnings per share is rising. That's normally a very good sign. It seems to want to break up here. So that looks to me as if that wants to go much, much, much higher, assuming our market can in fact keep going. 70% of the exercise is the market, folks. That's why that should be the focus of your attention, and that's why the darn thing is in prime of place right on the front page of VectorVest, so that you can't miss it. And VectorVest is on your phone these days. There's some lovely little app, and there's absolutely no excuse not to know whether the market is rising or falling, because you can see that in a second on your phone. And let's face it, we spend half our days with our face stuck into the darn things. So no excuse whatsoever not to know whether the market is rising or falling. Dr. Lido says that everything follows from that. That's just such a good line. So let's look at the bad one. There is Avon, and I bought into it in April, somewhere about here, and as you see, it was 45. In hindsight, it's obvious that it made a double top. I thought last week that level was going to hold, and I had some funds, in fact, assigned to buy more there, but it didn't hold, folks, and the news caused people to run for cover. It found the low of yesterday was on those old highs and a 62% retracement of that range. So there was buying in there. I saw this morning that it had fallen to 31, finished nearly at 33 yesterday. It fell to 31, and I got out of it somewhere in there, and I'm going to think again. I wouldn't be at all surprised that we'll be buying this in a couple of weeks' time, but nevertheless, stops are stops, and now I can think straight. Yesterday at our Oxford meeting, I managed one of our members, Mike, to in fact tell us the story. He's told us the story so many times, but it grounds one in stop losses, where Marconi was trading at £12, and Marconi was a bellwether of the FTSE 100 and a bellwether of the UK economy for a long time, and it fell from that £12 to a few pennies. So nobody knows what's going to happen next. So the money's in the bank. Okay, very difficult to give back that sort of money, but nevertheless, the money's in the bank, and I can now think again. The rest of the portfolio I'm very, very pleased with indeed, and I'm hoping that gold can go nicely. And I think I've got a gold chart here. There's the gold chart. Those of you that are fib analysts will know that was 78% of this, and you can see there's old highs here as well. That's pretty much what Avon has done. And it's now, I thought maybe there'd be another leg down to test this low, but yesterday, and certainly after Mr. Powell spoke on Wednesday night, the gold market in fact moved up like seconds after he spoke. It's in fact closed above that high, and based on that I bought into Pan African Resources. So I've got one FTSE 100 miner, polymetal, and I've got one small marginal mine And if the gold price starts to move up towards 1900, not that far off that now, if it starts to move up towards the 2000 level, both those companies are going to be actually printing cash, and I'm hoping the share price can do exceptionally well. I haven't spoken about copper. Copper's having a great run, and I shall address copper and commodities in great detail at our question and answer session on Monday afternoon at 1:30. It's the last one of the year, folks. We'll just be away for 1 week, and we start again on January the 4th, I think it is. So anybody who's not a VectorVest member, you can take a VectorVest trial for 99 pence at the minute. How's that? And if that's too much for you, you give me an email, david.paul@vectorvest.com, and I'll send you an invite for Monday afternoon. Okay. So steady as she goes in both markets. Just be wary of market being very, very overbought on both sides of the pond. There's a low risk, high probability trade, in my humble opinion, with asymmetrical risk to reward ratio in the gold market. Gold is not for everybody, okay? And gold has got a temper on it, so it's not for everybody. It's a long way away from worry-free investing. I seem to be quite addicted to this stuff, but not for everybody. Thanks very much, folks. Have a great weekend, and I'll do another couple of these next week. Bye-bye.